Hey, Beth, what's going
Hi, how are
on?
you?
How's it going?
We're
We're
great. How are
doing
you?
good.
You made me sound amazing, but I have to ask you, what is the Twitch?
We don't know. We don't
Okay,
know.
It's
I've been wondering during this pandemic, everyone's twitching, but it's not like, twitching. It's this whole thing.
Yeah,
yeah, it's basically like it's almost like performing on stage. There's an amazing group of people who watch these shows, and a lot of people are on here like playing Fortnite and Fall Guys, and that's like a whole gaming side. But Rob and I basically just started to take our UCB show and start doing it over here.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. We used to do a stand-up show, and so that's all we're doing. We just decided to do like this is us just like dicking around. That's all it is.
I love it. What a dream. Well, then Twitch is amazing. Go
Yeah.
Twitch.
Now,
It's just free
Beth,
like YouTube. It's right there. It's easy.
Yeah.
did you see what we just did to Jerry O'Connell? We all just I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea. I think it'll be fun. I think Jerry's a good sport, and I would freak out if I saw like 600 comments on my Instagram all of a sudden. Like
Right.
I would be worried. I think.
Did something happen with Jerry?
No,
No.
no, no.
We've
nothing
made
at
up
all.
we've made up our own thing, and we've all just tweeted at him, your video leaked and we saw it. And
That's all it
I
is.
got really drunk at a party with him once before I was on Two Broke Girls. He was at this party. I think Maria Menounos
that feels
threw
about
the
right.
party, and he was so friendly. And he took
He's the
photos
best.
of me and my best friend, and it was wonderful. So go
He's a
Jerry.
he is a great guy. He has called in on and been on the show numerous times, and he doesn't have internet in his house, so he often calls in from a Taco Bell parking lot or another parking structure. He's always stealing internet from some other place. So yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Oh
Now,
God.
now, did you ever get anything like that? Like, I mean, like obviously you are on giant shows, and you are on a giant show. Like, but have you ever gotten that wave where you've been like, uh-oh, like attention, like something has happened and I didn't even know, or like a bunch of texts come flooding in or anything like that? Have you ever been at like the other side of that?
Well, the other day I post a lot of horse content
I love
on
that.
my social channels, and I have this troll, or maybe it's someone I dated, but he keeps talking about how bad. Are you allowed to say like
You can do
dirty
whatever.
words?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, he keeps commenting on my Instagram whenever I post pictures on my horse about how stinky my vagina is and how my horse must hate when my stinky vagina is on her back. And I'm like,
Whoa.
oh my
wow.
God. Um,
That's
that was shocking. I also get a lot about my feet.
Oh
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
I think that's a
a lot
common. I think that's
feet.
a common thing for actresses, right? Like,
There's
because
like a
Yeah.
database, a wiki
yeah,
Yeah.
feed.
When
Yeah.
I when I was first dating my husband, I went to China. I did a bunch of like press and stuff in China, and he was like, they see everything. And so as a joke, I did send him my boobs once from China, and he was like, all those dudes in the tower that are watching everything you do just saw that. And then I kind of did have panic, like if that leaked.
yeah,
Right, you got you.
Just overnight. But
well,
I never showed my face.
yeah.
So
That's
you
smart.
can always deny that they weren't your nipples or whatever.
Paul was telling this story, which I have not heard about. That I guess David Boreanaz. There was a video
Oh
that
my
leaked of
gosh.
him jacking off recently, which I did not see or hear about, and Paul seems
I
to
yeah,
be the
I
authority.
came home on Saturday night to find him trending, and I was like, "Oh, why is he trending?" And after a lot of investigative internet research, I found the video that leaked because it was quickly scrubbed. But he leaked like I don't consider it a leak because it's from his account. You can't leak
You
your
can't
own stuff. Like
Also,
if
who does that? Was he doing it to like for himself to remember it? Like, why?
We're not friends with him. We don't know. We got to be friends with him.
You
We
got
should
to be
be.
friends with him.
yeah.
What an interesting friend.
But by the way, Beth, I'm looking at your WikiFeet page. I just pulled it up, and I want you to know that you have a 5-star review.
Wait, what is
Five.
Wiki feet?
Thank
Paul?
That's the
Back
whole
up,
thing.
back up.
That's what we're talking about. WikiFeet. Here, I'll
But
show
I
you.
don't.
I mean, it's
I
nothing
know.
weird about. Yeah, I'll show you right
I,
here. Yeah.
I know that people are obsessed with women's feet. I didn't know there was a what?
Wow.
Yeah, there it is. Wiki Feet. 5-star review there.
Wow.
And it says gorgeous feet. Gorgeous feet.
No,
Wow.
somebody did tell me I could be a foot model. I have a friend who is a hand model, and he was like, "No, your feet, you could get money." This was like, back when I was struggling to
I'm
make it.
gonna look at my wife and see what my wife's
Yeah,
Wiki
what's
Feet are.
hers?
Let's
Is it
see.
only for women? Am I on here?
Yeah, no, it's only for women. Oh, my wife is a little like a
Fauci.
quarter of a
Fauci's
star
on here.
lower, and that
Still
she's
pretty
got
good.
beautiful feet. Yeah, beautiful feet. But you've beat my
Aw.
wife and feet.
Wow.
My feet right now do not look great since it's been a year since I've got a pedicure. So
It's
They
so
should look really
bizarre.
What is your, I have no transition to this, but what is your connection to, what is the horse thing? You do, you said that you post a lot of horse content. What is that?
I just, on Two Broke Girls, my character, Caroline Channing, lived in
Yeah.
New York City and had her horse in her backyard,
Okay.
like you do. And there was always a horse on the show, and I just would ride it around the lot with the horse trainer, and then kind of just decided on a whim, like, to adopt one. I had never been a horse owner. I loved them as a little girl, and now I'm obsessed. And now my husband just rescued a huge draft horse named Rosie. So I've turned into him, to the cowboy of my dreams. And we're obsessed. And my whole house has a horse memorabilia now, which he said we have to stop with.
Can you share your horse's name?
Her name is Belle, and his
Belle.
horse is named Rosie.
Oh.
Are they on Wiki Feet? I wonder if we could see the horses.
Oh my God, Rosie's feet should be, because her hoof is like
Yes.
that big. She would get 10 stars.
Yeah. Now, where do they, I don't know how it works with a horse. I live in Pasadena, which is, for people watching this, it's like the cool part of LA. It's like where all the young.
No, that's not true.
Oh,
by the way, Rob, I'm sorry I don't mean to interrupt you. We got some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
You are also on Wiki Feet Men.
No.
What?
Yep, Rob, and you have 4 stars out of 5.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Right? Not
yeah.
terrible. Not the best.
Does it have a picture of my feet? Oh yeah, I did.
There, yeah, this is your feet. Like there, is that your feet?
Oh my God, you have good feet. They're very clean.
Oh, thank you.
Do you get pedicures?
No, this is when I was on vacation with my family in Hawaii, and I posted something on Instagram. It was when people were showing their buttholes to the sun. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's me with George Clooney. These are all great pictures. No big deal.
So there you go. I just want you to know that you are on Wiki Feet.
So men own
Yeah.
it.
Wow, I didn't know that. So Beth, where do the horses? Where do they live? Do they stay in your house? Are they at a stable in Burbank?
They're at a stable in the valley, like a little bit farther off the 170 in the valley. And
Gotcha.
great. It's like 20 minutes away. We go as much as we can and ride
I grew up with horses literally in my backyard. I grew up in a very like suburban area, not like a farm area at all. And I thought it was always kind of normal, but our backyard was just a barn, and we had 3 horses in our barn, and that was my job. My chores were like salt lick, put the salt lick in, get the hay out, grain, all that kind of stuff. So I have a bad association with horses in the sense that they were just my obligation. Like I was like, it was like I love them. They're great. They're beautiful creatures. I rode them, but it does bring back like chores. Like the amount of days I would come home from school and have to like muck out a corral.
A lot of work. I don't even know. Is it a lot of work?
High maintenance. I mean, I don't have them in my backyard, so someone else does the mucking, obviously.
Yeah.
But they really are like. I mean, I wonder though, when you were around them, and not to get too hippy dippy, but you noticed that you felt more calm and more zen?
This is an interesting thing, right? Because like their horses are used as therapy, right? I know Whitney Cummings talks about this all the time. I definitely feel like there's something about having animals around you. Absolutely. Like there is something there. And they're so kind, and like they are very like they are, you're right. Like there is an aura that they give off. So I don't know if I was fully aware of it, but my memories of them are that they were kind creatures.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. I mean, the chores were a whole other thing, but like the actual animals were kind?
Because that's what I remember on Two Broke Girls, like when it would get really stressed out, I kept, gravitating toward where the horse and the horse trainer was. Because Whitney is actually the one who introduced me to equine therapy and horses.
Yeah.
We love Whitney Cummings, and I
always forget. Whitney produced or created that show, right?
She created it, yeah, with Michael Patrick King, and then she had her own show at the same time. So she didn't end up getting to like actually be on set as much, but we became really good friends.
Yeah. That's so cool. Because I remember when there were those fires up in like Northern California, she was like going up in like
everywhere. I know that woman will do anything to save any animal, which is amazing.
Yeah, she really gets up in it. I will tell you, I had a crazy experience with a horse, and thank God I am still alive to tell it, which
this is the sex story, Paul. I don't
Hold on. So they are very relaxing, but they're also seductive. No, when I was a kid, because they were just in our lives. Like, it wasn't like a big deal. Like, when I look back on it now, I'm like, oh, I lived a weird life. But as a child, you have nothing to judge it against. It was like, that's what we have. We have like a dog run, or, whatever it was. And I was playing hide and go seek in the barn with a friend, and I went behind a horse.
Oh.
And I don't know how this happened, but
the
horse kicked me with his leg. Boom. Sent me back. I have a little scar on my cheek, but thank God, however it kicked me.
I've never asked you. It's a big scar.
Massive.
But it was like, it threw me back, but like 1 inch in any other direction, like my face would have been like caved. Like, luckily I just had like a small little cut that had some stitches and stuff, but it was.
You know why that is
Why?
Because they have a blind spot.
Okay.
So you're always, if you're going behind a horse, tip for anybody, don't step behind them without telling them you're there with your hand, because they're prey animals. So they're like preconditioned biologically to like always be worried about a mountain lion or a wolf or whatever. And so I thought you were dangerous.
And that was, I am thankful that, so basically I do have a love for this horse because the horse did not kill me. So I feel like that would have been, that would have been an intense moment.
Let me ask you this, Beth. You I feel like you're always working and you're always on a big show. Would you do a show that was you and only horses? It's just
like a new Mr. Ed?
100%. Can it be in Montana?
It could be in Montana, but it's not like a comedy. It's like a drama. It's like you're reading the mind. The horses, hold on. The horses are sending you messages to help you solve crimes. What about that?
So you're a cop.
It's like a horse whisperer, but you're a cop. Yeah.
I'm coming around. Horse whisperer. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So it's a horse whisperer.
I'll talk to my agent.
I by the way, I do love the fact that like there was a television show where they called Mr. Ed, where they just put peanut butter in a horse's mouth, and maybe worse, honestly, at other points, just, like a string or something. But like that was like a TV show that people are like, yep, we're watching this. This horse talks and tells everybody. It's like I love that. I almost feel like I want to get back to that time where you could pitch a show, be like, it's about a guy and his talking horse. Be like, yes, write a check. How many seasons? 12? You got it.
I feel like any show with like animals is always like so weird. They were just shooting I'm not trying to brag, guys, but they were just shooting a commercial on my street. No big deal.
Oh man, Pasadena, where it's at.
Pasadena. And it was a Petco commercial. So I guess it was just like, someone walking their dog or whatever. But there were like 20 ASPCA people like watching to make sure that the dog is not, no one fucks with the dog or anything. So I feel like anything with, and like we had a monkey one time on Children's Hospital, and like,
that's scary. Monkeys scare me.
Yeah. Monkeys are pretty, what about like
off your face, not just a little scar. Like,
yeah. That's like their thing, right? Like they like to rip the faces off of people.
Unless you're Jane Goodall or Diane Fossey, but I think normal people like us,
I thought the whole thing was that monkeys love that Nick Cage, John Travolta movie Face Off, and they're just always trying to recreate it. They're just trying to cosplay. My wife did like a little bit of a guest star role on this show called Animal Practice, and Animal Practice was a show about people
Justin
in
Kirk.
Justin Kirk in a vet's office. And two interesting things about it. First of all, the monkey was listed number 1 on the call sheet. If anyone knows that, that means the order of importance, like in this show. So the monkey was number 1. Justin Kirk was number 2. And then the other thing was when she was on, they were like, "Hey, we have this ostrich. We don't know what the ostrich will do. We think it will be okay, but if we say the word run." Like, that's what they told them, like, run. So, like,
That
Gina's
happened
like,
on our show on the Neighborhood season 1 too with a bear.
What?
Well, just they were like, if you're on your period or expecting your period, like you are not allowed to be on this set. Like the bear might come after you. And then every woman was like, I don't know, what if I get my period? Is the bear gonna come out? What do we do?
yeah.
Whoa.
I felt bad. I feel bad for like animals that have to come
Yes.
on stage.
Yeah. Animal actors are not cool. They don't want to be doing.
know.
And the people that are in that business are kind of gross. Like they're kind of like, it's always these people that have like a million like things in their van. They have like boxes of
Vans.
Yeah. It's always,
It's a tough job because you also are, the rate of success is very low. Like, I feel like they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a bear trainer," and then the bear trainer will get the set and be like, "I don't know if he's gonna do it." You know, it's like, "Well, wait, what do you mean you don't know?" I was like, I mean, he has a lot of variables. Yeah, it's a bear. It's a bear. It's like, yeah, it's a bear. Get the hell out. Like, we don't need. I don't need to see any show besides like The Revenant, where The Revenant. I get it. Put a real bear in there. Yeah, sitcom comedy show. Cut to an image of a bear in a field. I got it. I get the idea.
I talked to the guy, the trainer, for at least a half hour, and he assured me that they live on like an open plain in Oregon, and that they only do, this like once a year, and then they're free, and they're bears that can't go back to the wild. I mean, his monologue about, he had it. He knew that someone like me was going to be like, so tell me.
Yeah. What's the deal with the bear? What
and
happened?
I got obsessed with it, but I was just so curious. Like, wait, does it get to be a bear when it's not acting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What happened to the bear on Anchorman? Didn't that bear kill somebody eventually?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
I believe that we also had that bear on the League, and that's what would make, because it was like, oh, he had a successful run, and then it snapped, and that's the scary part. Like that you could, oh yeah, they were great until you don't want to be the until show, like.
Look at Charlie Sheen. I mean, it happens to a lot of us. Right? You're on a show for too long, especially a multi-annual film.
You break. That's it. You will break. You we can't expect the bear not to break. It's scary.
I'm trying to think of other terrible animal stories like this.
I got a few. I mean, the League, we had a lot of weird animals. We did this episode. So my character, I mean, this doesn't make that much of a difference, but my character drove a Mercedes SUV, which is kind of, even though it's an SUV, it's kind of still very compact. It's not a very big car. And a monkey was supposed to get loose in the SUV. And it was a real monkey. And we were going to cut in and out of like real monkey and then exterior of the car with no monkey, real monkey, back and forth. And so the trainer was like, I'll get in the trunk. And we're like, well, okay, but what happens if the monkey freaks out? And he's like, you can give him these Sour Patch Kids. We're like, wait, what do you mean? He's like, give him the Sour Patch Kids. And then I'm like, wait, am I giving him like a representation of a human being to satiate him? Like, that doesn't feel right to me either. And so we start shooting the scene. Everyone's super tense. Like, I'm driving, and also we're driving. So it's like, I'm like.
And is it a chimp or is it like a capuchin monkey?
Capuchin monkey, yeah. So like I'm driving, I'm like knowing that this monkey is going to, because the thing is the monkey is attacking us in the car too. So the monkey does have to cause some problems. So like we're there, the trainer's in the back on the leash, and he's gonna let the monkey go, and we're like, okay. And then they let the monkey go, and the monkey just starts running around the car, and then we all are like, And he just jumps up on our visor, like the sun visor, and, like, ha, ha, and just starts eating the visor like there's no tomorrow. He's like, gummy bear, gummy bear. And I was like, I'm not gonna give this, like, he's going to town on the vine. I'm not gonna shove him a Sour Patch Kid in this moment. And we have, like, it was one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever been a part of.
So everyone listening, acting is hard.
It's so
It
hard,
is
guys.
so
It's
hard.
So hard.
Beth, you're lucky because I feel like you, I mean, just from, I feel like I've never been on a multicam for a long time, and that seems like a dream.
Congratulations.
It seems like it would be, isn't it great though in a way because you can go
Well,
like
the
people,
schedules.
yeah, people say the schedule's great and you can be home, you know, for whatever you want to do. And
There's
you know,
horse time. I have time in the afternoon to go to my horse. Someday when we have a family, it'll be great. No, I love it. I've been so lucky. After Two Broke Girls, I was like, I'm never going to do a multicam again because I was just like, oh, I did it and yay. And then Max Greenfield called me because he had signed on to the neighborhood and we had worked together before. And he was like, okay, but like, I know you're saying to everyone that you're not going to do a multicam, but like, you should watch this pilot. Because we actually we were in the weird position where the actors that were playing our characters had gotten let go and then we came in. So we actually got to watch the pilot, which I'd never experienced before as an actor, which was very weird.
It's kind of amazing. Like you can kind of go like, oh, I can do this. I can do, like, I mean, partially it has to be like, I can do this better. But
well,
also,
you're just like, oh, I see what happened. Like I see why it's not quite working. So then you're like, okay, how can I step in and try? But the Butler family played by, you know, Cedric the Entertainer and Tashina Arnold, there was just such a chemistry there. And it was so obvious there was a show. And I love Max Greenfield. We love working together. He's the best human too, you guys. He's not just a good actor. And, you know, everybody on our show can hit the ball back in comedy, as you know, like Kat Dennings. I was so lucky to have like the top partner. Now I have him and Sed and Tashina Arnold. And it's like, so it was like a no-brainer to say yes.
Was it weird to now make this transition where, I mean, were you always shooting in front of a live audience or is it just like multicam without a live audience?
We always were. Yeah. It was weird in the beginning. And now to be honest, we kind of like it because it's just, you get like, my next show will definitely be a single camera comedy because I love improv. And I really, especially the stuff you guys do, I always say like, I'm Chris Farley stuck in like this. And so I don't get to do sort of the like disgusting, gross kind of stuff I want to do. And there's not a freedom because sitcoms have such a, as you guys know, there's such a musicality to it. And you can't ruin the music, like what's written and the jokes and how you hit it. And especially when it's live audience, you just can't play like that. But because we don't have the audience right now, there is more play because it's just the cast and crew. And it's fun. It's kind of fun to like have the time to try to make the crew laugh and like, so don't tell anybody, but I kind of like it, right?
I wonder if they will they bring an audience back or I wonder if they'll be like, oh, this is faster and better and more efficient to.
I don't know. I actually wondered that too. I've heard CBS through so we got to pick up for season 4 and we, thank you. And we heard that we will be doing like COVID protocols through 2022 at least. So I think at least for the first half of the season, we're going to keep it pretty insular. We have laughers, which are people who are hired to laugh, which.
Oh, whoa.
What?
When you know they're being paid to laugh.
Yeah. Wait, are they like socially distant, spread out around the set?
There's about 10 of them and they have their own pod. It's adorable.
I love that they're paid to laugh, but it's like COVID, so they're like.
Totally, and they're lovely. We've got to know them now because they've been there every week, and it's wonderful. But you're also kind of like, when we know we don't hit a joke well, we're like, stop laughing. We know that wasn't funny. Like there's a rapport there of like.
Oh wait, so this is interesting to me because now I'm thinking about it like in the specifics. Like, so you're still shooting it as if there was a live audience. So you're not just going like, hey, let's shoot one scene today, one scene the next. Like you're still gonna like you still have a tape night essentially, and you're doing it like that. Wow.
We kind of split it up now. It's like we'll shoot half on Monday, half on Tuesday, but it's still table read, studio run through, network run through, just all on Zoom, and we're masked, doing comedy on Zoom in a mask those first few weeks for to see if something worked.
So
It's
weird.
so hard. Your eyes, you're like trying to, because there's nothing.
I can't even recognize my friends with a mask on. Like,
I
you know,
know.
it's like how like I can't like see the subtleties of anybody's anything going on with a mask. It's too much.
It's I feel terrible for the writers because it's hardest for them because they have no idea. And then once we get it, at least everything looks great once the masks are off because it's like just so much better than run throughs, you know.
I did a pilot that did not get picked up, the story of my life, for CBS like a few years ago. And I had never done like a multicam before. So I just wasn't, it does take you a minute to get into, because it's like doing a play. Like, you know, for people that don't know, like if you're shooting a single cam show, you go out and you shoot like a scene, and then you shoot a scene the next day, and then the next day you shoot a different scene. But multicam, you're doing the whole show from top to bottom. So in a weird way, it's fun because you can like bring, you know, your friends or your family to the show, and they can watch the whole show and see it. And so I flew my dad out, and my dad came to see this pilot that I did. And after the show, I was so excited that like, cause no one in my family has really seen what I do very much. And I was like, Dad, like, what did you think of the show? And my dad was like, the guy that was doing warm up, giving away candy and telling jokes, he was so funny. He was doing these magic tricks and he was singing songs. Like my dad was so psyched about the warm up guy. And like, I don't even think he really watched the show. It was so funny.
We had the same Roger, maybe it was the same warm-up guy you had on Two Broke Girls. We had the same warm-up guy for 6 years. And that job, power to them, because they do those bits. You know, he did Will and Grace. So he'd been doing it every night like that. And the tourists that come, they love it. It's like, yeah, it's better than us. They like have to wait around for us to do a joke and reset and change. And
I mean, like he's doing a full one-person show and he's giving you candy. Like it's the best thing. It's like most of the time, like, you know, like it, like this is Santa Claus in the audience. Like it is impressive to watch, but it's also like, you also see like how much crowd work it is, how hard it is, because it is a lot of people who are not from LA, probably have never seen this before, and then they're there, and so he's got to work with people from all over the country, like he trying to make them interesting, and then like it's a lot, like they're just grinding. It does not seem easy, but they are effortless in doing it, which is great. It's really awesome.
Beth, you are the best, and thank you so much for dropping by. And good luck on the neighborhood.
I think you both are amazing. I was so honored to be on this show. As my husband was like, I was geeking out because I'm such a fan of both of you, the League, Children's Hospital, everything. It's like we're obsessed. So.
This is amazing. Nice. Well, you were awesome, and it was a pleasure. And congratulations on that high wiki feet mark. So